Good evening and welcome, everybody. I'm Patrick Getchell.
And I'm Sarah Getchell.
And we are
Getchell Family Reptiles.
Thank you for joining us tonight. And tonight we're going to be talking about how to properly take care of your ball python. This is Snickers, so stay tuned and watch till the end. Hello, everybody. We're here tonight with Snickers, our ball python, and I wanted to talk to you about how to take care of these lovely creatures. Now, Snickers is just a baby. We think he's about 3 months old. As you can see, he's pretty tiny for a ball python, but we love him anyway. So, I'm not going to go into all the full details. Ooh, little jumpy are we tonight? Not going to go into all the full details of how to take care of a ball python, all the particulars, because there's care sheets out there for that. But I did want to talk to you a little bit tonight about some of the things that I have learned. And one of those things is how to handle a ball python, especially one like Snickers here, who's very defensive. And as you can hear, Jumper crawling around back there. Snickers is very defensive. We're working on it. One of the easiest ways to work on that is to make sure that you handle them daily, at least once a day, with the exception of when they're eating, or when they've eaten. Like I leave him alone for 48 hours after he eats. They say 24 to 48 hours, but I want to err on the side of caution. So for the first 48 hours, I don't handle him. And when he's in shed, I don't handle him when he's in shed. Not that you can't, it's just not recommended. It really isn't, because, he's a little camera shy. You'll have to excuse him. But it's just not recommended because you can cause issues. Obviously, you don't want to cause issues. What are you doing? Huh? You are usually so sweet. What are you having a bad day, huh, Snickers? Are we having a bad day? My baby. So, the other thing is, when you're handling him, or whatever it is, he or she, you just have to be confident. And it's very hard sometimes. Sarah can attest to this.
Yeah, it is.
It's very hard sometimes to be confident when you're dealing with a snake, especially one that can strike so quickly. I've gotten used to it, because when you're picking these guys up, especially when they're defensive, you have to be really, really confident. Not so much quick. You don't want to make quick movements, but it's just reach in there, grab him by the middle of his body, go ahead and pick him right up. That's what I did tonight, because at the end of the day, you need to be confident, and otherwise you're going to cause him to be even more defensive. Sarah, what happened when you tried to take him out tonight?
Well, I reached in and I took off the top of his hide like I always do. And I reached in there and I don't think I was confident enough. And he got me. He got me on the finger. It didn't hurt, but it was quite the surprising little nick. But I do still love him no matter what. I will always love my baby.
Well, the thing about it is snakes are very sensitive, and they're very quick. And if you hesitate at all, or you're afraid, or you're nervous, they can feel that, and it makes them nervous. And when they're nervous, they strike. And another thing is, if you're coming at them from the top, that's predator. That says predator to them, because that's how the predators get them, because their main predator in the wild are birds, birds of prey. So when a bird comes down from the top, and you see something else coming down from the top, if you're a snake, What are you doing? If you're a snake, you're automatically going to assume predator. Even though I'm not a predator, and he knows I'm not a predator because he knows my scent. He still gets nervous. So that's the number one thing is you got to be confident when handling these guys. And it's all part of taming them. So if you get a new baby ball python, leave it alone for a week. Let it be. Let it get used to its environment, and then slowly start trying to handle it a little bit at a time. But definitely go ahead and get it out and hold it and show it that you are not a threat. And then eventually you'll be able to handle him anytime you want, and nothing will happen. Like you can see, he's not exactly in his best mood today, but he's also not striking at me or curling up in a ball because he's afraid. He's just strolling. He's a little nervous, so he's just moving. The other thing I wanted to talk about is humidity. Maintaining proper humidity is very important. And a lot of people don't realize just how important humidity can be. If your humidity is too high or too low, it can cause problems. So with snakes, especially ball pythons, they prefer a humidity around 50 to 60%. It can go higher. His has been up to almost 75%. It got up to 80 once. Very briefly, I fixed that problem. But it's, between 70 and 75 is a good humidity if they're shedding. But what we're going to do next time he sheds is we're going to have him a humid hide, a humidity box that he can go into, so I don't have to worry about raising the humidity in the whole enclosure. But it's very hard to maintain humidity sometimes, so I wanted to give you a few tips. Now, the first tip is if you've got a snake like Snickers here, who likes higher humidity, mist the tank if you need to, but sometimes it's better not to. In his case, I've got Snickers over here in a tote. You can see behind me. That tote is his enclosure. Now, I've put enough holes in it to keep it at the proper humidity, but not too humid. And I've also, you hiding? I've also put it, I've also made sure to keep it so that he's got enough enrichment. He's got 2 hides in there. He likes his cool hide better. Don't ask me why. He's a silly snake. And then I got a warm hide, and then I've got his water bowl. I've got that little branch. What are you doing jumping around? I've got that little branch there that he can climb on in that plant. And he crawls around at night quite a bit. So I guess that's my next tip. Always give him enough enrichment. And I don't have anything against snake racks. In fact, one of my favorite YouTubers, Brian Barczyk, that's what he uses as a rack system. And a lot of people use rack systems and they're fine. Just make sure that you can provide at least a little bit of enrichment for the snake as well. I think that's important. And not that it's necessary, so to speak, because your snake may be perfectly happy with just a substrate, a little bitty hide, and a water dish, whatever. But it is preferred. I think you'll see a lot better reaction from your snake in terms of exploring if you provide some enrichment, like plants or something to climb on. Even though ball pythons are not arboreal, they do not require trees, but he does like to climb. In fact, he ate his dinner upside down one day.
And he was actually up on the plant we have in there. We found him up there on top of the plant one night too.
Yeah, he likes that plant. So definitely provide some enrichment for your snakes. As far as temperatures, Have a nice basking spot of about 90 to 95, and I think you're fine. You don't want to go too much above that, and keep a cool side around 80, even down to 75. Sometimes it gets down for him. But his warm side gets somewhere around 90 to 95. 95 is the high. It's usually around 90-ish. And use under tank heaters or heat tape. You can use a light to see the snake. I've done that before on a tank. But they don't really require the heat to be from above. They get their heat from below on their bellies. And that's how they absorb heat. So while, you could have just a light and no under tank heater, and it would heat the substrate up to the proper temperature and he'd still get his heat from below, that's perfectly fine. I just prefer under tank heaters just because it's more direct. And I don't have to worry about him getting nervous from too much light. In fact, there's no light in his enclosure at all right now. When he was in this 10-gallon tank before I decided to move him to the tote, he had a light, but it was barely a 25 watt just to provide a little light. Nothing to really warm anything up. So Sarah, can you think of anything else that's really important for snakes, such as Snickers here?
Not really. I mean, besides the fact that they're the most adorable thing on the face of this planet.
Yes, Snickers is quite adorable. Can you say?
His little tongue gets me every time. Look at it go. He's so cute.
Now, just real quick before I end the video, I did want to say that Miss Sarah here, by the beginning of this year, Miss Sarah here really didn't like snakes. I wouldn't say she was afraid of them, but she didn't like snakes.
They looked like aliens to me. I just always thought they were so slimy and gross. They just looked like aliens.
And we went to PetSmart and we held a ball python like this guy here. And she didn't really want to hold it, but I convinced her to hold him. And she started to fall in love with him. And now she's begging me to get more. She wants a little corn snake. That's our next purchase.
They're so cute. They're tiny.
They don't stay tiny.
I know they don't.
So,
you gonna come see me? Come see me?
I won't put my hand in front of him if I were you.
Okay.
So anyway, I guess that's really all I wanted to cover. As I said, there's care sheets all over the internet. Go check out the care sheets on our website. Well, you can't right now because our website's down. We're working on it. We'll get it up soon, and when we do, I will have a link in the description so you can go check that out. But there's other care sheets out there, and they're all fairly the same. But also, do your research. I encourage everybody who's going to own one of these wonderful creatures to do your research. Check 3 or 4 care sheets. Watch YouTube videos such as this from several different people. Learn different ways to handle these guys, different ways to take care of them. There's no really right and wrong way. There are a few absolutes, like they need certain temperatures, certain humidity, but you really need to do your research and find out what's going to work best for your snake or for your pets. I've got Jumper over here in a setup that most bearded dragon owners would say is wrong because he's got a loose substrate. I'm thinking about doing in fact, I'm going to be doing bioactive setups for all of my animals here very soon. I'm going to be starting with Sprinkle, my leopard gecko, and you'll be able to see me set him up in his bioactive setup on this channel. So keep an eye out for that. If you enjoyed this video, please go ahead and strike that like button.
I thought of something else. you also need to provide a water bowl, not only for them to drink, but when they're shedding, sometimes they will need to soak, so they will end up going in their water bowl and soaking. So
Yeah.
if you find your ball python in their water dish, don't get worried. It's just they sometimes do that.
Well, yeah, good point. But anyway, if you enjoyed this video, strike the like button. Go ahead and subscribe and ring the bell. Get some notifications. You'll get notifications every time we upload a new video. And I guess that's it. But I did want to leave you with one other thing. I would like you to go ahead and check out my my video. I'm going to leave it at the end of this video. It's the secret how to keep any reptile happy and healthy. Hey, don't wrap around the cord of the microphone, goofball. Anyway, go check that video out. It's got some, it's got some really deep information. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and end the video for today. Thank y'all for joining me. Snicker says goodbye. Right? Yeah. Snicker says goodbye. What, you going to go in my pocket now? You silly snake. All right. So, y'all have a great day. And I'm going to go ahead and sign off. Be good.